Thank you for coming to our second national meeting of English teachers. I'm really proud you're here today. I'm sorry we are not starting on time, but we are right now. And I also want to tell you that today is going to be with us the teacher Georgina. Welcome, teacher Georgina.
Thank you.
She's going to be with us talking about the importance of the certification of teaching's methodology, and myself as well as teacher Rosa Guadalupe and teacher Maria Eloína, as well as teacher Jonathan Israel Oscoy Rico, Luis Fernando Morales Cerón. Okay, thank you very much for being here. And remember, we were talking yesterday about changing our minds and responsibility. Okay, teachers? Thank you very much.
Okay, in the other points, we will know, Tesalia say you about the importance of the certification. And the other points, we will talk about the Duolingo platform. In a specific check the point about the creation of the accounts and how to use the platform teacher with your students. This is very important. You are the acknowledged completely for put the platform to use right now. And the other topic, also we will see the agreement and the establish of the new strategies. Before closing, we will have to delivery of evidence that your participation in this national meeting. It's about 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay? That's all. This is the activities for today. And go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Teacher. Okay, I have to welcome teacher Georgina Elena Freire Silveira, please.
How are you, first of all? Okay, Calzada de Tlalpan wasn't very easy, right? This is the rush hour, so everyone's there, and it was kind of messed up. But well, now you are here, all of you, and let's begin, okay? Well, first of all, let's change our minds from that to here. And did you have breakfast? Yeah. A nice breakfast? Yeah. Are you happy? Yeah. Yes? Okay, I'm so happy to see you too. Okay, so, no, you didn't have breakfast? That's really bad. So you're hungry. Well, you will have coffee and some cookies and stuff in a while, okay? Don't worry. We'll have a break. Don't worry. And I hope it won't take me too long, so. And you have a nice time. This is my school. You are welcome to my house. As I told you yesterday, my house is your house. So if there is anything you need, you can tell me. And well, welcome again. It's not easy to be speaking in front of teachers. You know, as you all know, normally we speak in front of students, and that's very easy, right? And we talk and talk and talk and talk, and it's very easy. When you are speaking in front of teachers, you get so nervous. And I'm shaking. but okay, I'll try to do my best, so please be patient. As you know, these presentations weren't easy to do. It was kind of, well, for me, it's difficult. I'm not very fond of technology, but I also try to do my best, so please also be patient with this. And I had some pictures from my trips. I went to NMSU, so I took pictures. I gathered pictures from my friends. And well, I hope you enjoy it. First of all, this is the second national meeting of English. Oh my God, can you, okay. Teachers exchange of good practices and new strategies establishment. Okay? Well, I have a saying. This saying, I gathered it, I took it from a classroom in the United States where they have wonderful classrooms, special classrooms for each topic, for each subject. And there was a teacher who had this in her desk. It says, in a world where you can be anything, be yourself. I think it's not only important for teenagers, I think it's important for all of us. Where you can be anything, just be yourself. We as teachers cannot be whatever they tell us to be. We all have styles. We all have a way of doing things. And our way is a good way. We know how to deal with students. We know how to do our work. Maybe the only thing we have to change is to be positive all the time, right? But for that, we also need motivation. The word motivation, again. But the motivation has to come from us. What happened to me? Well, I'm proudly CONALEP. Of course, I'm proudly CONALEP. I work here. I've been working here for 11 years. And CONALEP has given me a lot of chances. And I have taken all the chances that CONALEP has given me. All of them. And I have grown. And I have grown a lot. Really, I have. What happened to me? Please change it. Can you? I don't know where's the... Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't start with this. First of all, I didn't know which was my English level. I didn't know it at all. I started working at CONALEP as a teacher without knowing if I knew a lot of English or a little English. What happened is that suddenly there was a chance to take this CENI certificate. And well, they told me that if I wanted to do it or not or what. And I said, well, I want to do it. And well, I took the chance. And I proudly, I'm going to say it, proudly, I got the first place around Mexico City. And well, it was great. For me, it was huge. So it made me feel like I was at the top of the list, right? And I said, well, I can do it. I have a very good English level. I can teach. I know I am doing fine. I know I'm doing well. Okay, let's do the best I can. And then I started searching for more opportunities to grow because I felt really good with myself, about myself. And well, this that I started to do was looking for scholarships all around. You know, Formación Técnica, my boss, Jesus Alberto Pérez Estrada, started sending a lot of things about scholarships for English teachers and for all the teachers, right? But there was a problem. I'm 50 years old. And all the scholarships are for teachers under 30 years old. So I didn't have the chance. And I started thinking, oh my God, I'm too old. I'll never have the chance. I won't be able to do it. I don't have the chance to grow anymore. So, well, things started going down. And suddenly one day, I found that this group, Comexus, had this scholarship. And I took my chances. And I said, well, I started sending my papers. It was a big amount of documents, passport. You had to make a composition. I had to write. I had to, well, you can't imagine how much I had to do to get this. It was really, really a big deal. But it was, you know, it took its time. So 1 week you had to do one thing, another week you had to do another, and you had the time to do it, right? So it wasn't that difficult because you had the time, right? So I got it. Luckily, I got it. So Comexus gave me the scholarship. And I got the chance to go to New Mexico State University, as some of us did. It was great. You know, New Mexico State University has these Aggies. The Aggies are the pet. It's the pet of New Mexico State University. And that is the most symbolic building for us, it was, because we used to meet in there for lunch and for supper and for dinner. And the place where we would meet was there, right? That building. Okay, well, please change it. So we went there. A group of teachers, Mexican teachers. As you can see, that's the American flag. Those are the Mexican teachers. Not all of us, because we were divided in two groups so that we could travel around the university and visit the whole university. We were about 40 degrees in temperature, and it was really hot. We had to walk a lot every day, back and forth from our homes to the campus, and then from the campus back home. Well, it was terrible. It was tremendous. And well, we went back there. We went there. We had to study. Will you please change it? It took us a lot of effort. Those are our classes. As you can see, we were working all the time. Those are my friends. We were a lot of teachers working all the time from 8 o'clock in the morning. We stopped working up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We had chance to have breakfast and supper and dinner. Of course, we had our times. But after we stopped having classes, please, we had to prepare classes. Okay, we had these little halls, private halls, where we could prepare our classes, and we had to spend a lot of time in there because we had to prepare classes for the next day or for the next Monday, so we didn't have a lot of chance to lose our time, to go and shop, to go and get out of the university, to go and travel around. We really had to make a big effort and to study and to read our books and to be in there, right? It was 6 weeks. We spent there 6 weeks. And it took us a lot of effort. We really did work, a lot. Please change it. We had to make a lot of expositions. As you can see, all the time, we didn't work on our own. Most of the classes, we had to work in teams, in pairs or in teams. They were teaching us that we had to show our students, as they were teaching us how do you say this? As they were teaching us all the theory, they were making us use the methodology that we were supposed to apply for our students. So it was really interesting because we could make sure that the methodology did work, because everything in the theory, we really learned it due to the methodology, right? Did I make myself clear? Was it clear? Yes? The teachers used to say, did that make sense? Yes? Okay. So please change it. Okay. We also had the chance, every Saturday, we had a lot of homework to do, but every Saturday, we had these mandatory visits to different places. So even if we wanted to stay at the university at home, making homeworks and studying or doing whatever we had to do, we had to go to these visits, to these cultural trips, and we had to go. We didn't have a chance to stay. So they took us, for example, to White Sands. Please. They took us to Carlsbad Caverns, which was, if I may tell you, part of the experience is that we had to walk 6 kilometers, that's 4 miles, underneath the ground, and then back up. It was impressive because you're supposed to walk down 4 miles and then you have elevators, lifts, to take you up, but the elevators were broken. So they told us, the guards told us that if we were with some trouble to come up or something, we shouldn't go down. So, well, we took our chances, and some of the younger people went down, all the way down, but some of the older people, like Deborah and me, decided to walk just a little bit down and then come up because it was really, really, really big, right? It was a terrible, well, not terrible, it was wonderful, but it was difficult to get down and then come up back. It was impressive. Okay, please. Okay, those were, let me get into the real matter, okay, about the methodology we were using. We use these two books. The woman who wrote the books is Socorro G. Herreras. She's a Latin woman. She's made a lot of studies about teaching, about pedagogy, a lot. She has written a lot of books. But these were the books we were working with. This one is called, well, Crossing the Vocabulary Bridge, it's obvious, and Biography-Driven Culturally Responsive Teaching. Crossing the Vocabulary Bridge is everything about, sorry? Strategies. Everything about strategies. If you want to find strategies to teach in your classroom, get this book. You will find all the strategies you want. If you want to take note of the book, please copy it, because it is really, really a good book. It has everything, from the templates to the explanations, and well, everything you really need. That's, you know, in here you will find everything to know how and why to use this information, all these templates and everything you need for the strategies for the students. Everything. It's great. It's a great book. And then the other one is Biography-Driven Culturally Responsive Teaching. This one is, well, as its name states, has to do with why to use all these strategies, how to take care of the background of the students, how to take care of the culture, the ideas the students have in their lives, everything about that. But has to do with all the theory, right? The other one is only activities, okay? Change it, please. Okay, so the first thing we began working with was the cultural quilt. This is to know your students. I started with this. This is a work from one of my students. I started with this when I came back. I decided to apply it and to start working with that with my students. And well, the background of the students is very, very important, as Orlando stated, as Deborah stated, as everyone has been saying. It really is. When you take what your students have and have from their culture, from their homes, from the little towns where they come from, and you take it into your classroom, the class becomes really rich. And besides, they can connect all that information they have from home with the new information that you're giving them. So the students really learn. They can make these little connections, that's the word, so that they memorize somehow the new information that you're giving them. And it works. I have proof that it really works. Then the family background, the community background, the school background, they have, you know, they come sometimes from other schools, and in the other schools, sometimes they mastered in mathematics, or maybe they mastered in spelling in English, or maybe they mastered in vocabulary in English, not in grammar, or maybe in speaking in English, not in vocabulary. But they are very good in something. And we don't take that in account to give our lessons, to deliver our lessons. And we're losing that part. So we really have to know what the strengths of our students are. And to know that, you can use this, the cultural quilt. The cultural quilt is in the book I was telling you about. Okay? So you can use it. Then it helps you make your students comfortable and safe in your classroom. Why? Because sometimes when they come from different communities, they have, the parents, for example, don't allow girls to speak a lot. Or they are shy because they come from a single parent home. Or maybe they have problems because they live only with their father or with their grandparents or with an aunt or something. And if we don't know that stuff, students won't feel safe in the classroom. And if they don't feel safe in the classroom, they won't be able to communicate, to learn, to speak. So we really need to make them feel safe. And to make them feel safe, we need to know them. So it's really important, okay? And then it gives you basis to plan and deliver your lesson successfully. So if you know your students, you can plan with that, right? You can make really good plans. Okay, please change it. Okay, now, language one, the first language and the second language. English and Spanish. You know, in there we had a classmate, another teacher, Ricardo, who was from Puebla. And he had, in a little town in Puebla, and he had students from 3 different ethnic groups. And it was very funny. I used to laugh to make fun of him because he used to wear a little ponytail, long hair and a ponytail. And he told us that when he got into the classroom, he used to speak in English to the students. But these students spoke in dialects, 3 different dialects inside his classroom. So he started speaking in English and the students didn't understand. So as a payback, the students would speak in dialect so that he wouldn't understand, okay? So it was funny, right? And I used to make a lot of fun of him. He's a nice guy. And well, so you have to allow your students to use their first language. This way they will understand more easily. So if they can connect the word in English with the word in Spanish and you allow them to use the word in Spanish, you make sure that they really understood, right? If you say no Spanish, never Spanish, you don't know if they understood, right? So if you make sure that they understood, you know they're learning. Okay, then it also lowers their emotional filters. You know what's the meaning of emotional filters? Have any idea? Does any idea come to you? Sorry? I don't know. I don't know that. Speak louder.
Yeah, they feel shame or afraid to speak in front of people. They are shy. When they try to participate, because now they have filters in the personality. And this is theory that we must think about when playing. Because we need to know the age of the student to arrange our playing. Okay, that's the good education.
That's right. You saw that in the university, right?
Oh, well, no, when I was making my bachelor's degree, yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right. You're right. You're right. That's it. That's the idea. Students, you know, as teenagers, they tend to be shy. They feel nervous all the time. So if you somehow let them speak in Spanish or in their first language, their mother language, and you sometimes use your mother language to explain, they will feel a little bit safer, less nervous. And that way, it will be easier for them to adopt the language, the English language. They will be safer. If they feel safe, if they don't feel criticized, if they don't feel judged, they will loosen themselves and they will start speaking in English. I don't know how this works, but it does work. And I have I have proved it. It does work. Okay? I know that some of you have already tried it, and I know that you have seen that it works. So I am not saying speak in Spanish all the time. What I'm saying is that sometimes you have to allow yourselves and allow your students to use Spanish, to use their first language. It's really important. Okay? Then, okay, and the third one is allow yourself to speak in Spanish if it's needed. Students need to understand you clearly, and sometimes there's no other way. You know, we English teachers are very good. You know, we're like clowns, not these horrific clowns that are running around Mexico now. No, well, sometimes we are those horrific clowns, but I don't mean that. I mean that, what is run? And you go, right? And what is eat? Yes? And we do that kind of stuff all the time. But sometimes there are words that we cannot show them. And sometimes it's easier to just tell them the meaning of the word in Spanish. Even when we're not dictionaries, because I tell my students, I'm not a dictionary, come on, okay? There's a moment when you say, I'm not a dictionary. But yes, sometimes you have to tell them the meaning of the word. Yes? Yes?
This reminds me a lot about conversations in the U.S. about English language learners. So a lot of students going to school who come from households that speak a different language. So they enter kindergarten in grade or whatever grade they enter without knowing any English. And there's the English-only approach, which is only talk to them in English until they learn. And then there's the bilingual approach where you talk to them in your language and then you slowly add in your English. So my sister actually, her parents are bilingual school and my big sister. So she learned in Spanish first. They taught them in Spanish and then slowly they introduced English and it worked really well. And then even here, just I think on Tuesday, one of my students asked me, how do you say, how old are you? And then I told him, like, how old are you? And then he came back, I think he had forgotten by the time he had walked back to his desk. And then I was like, and then I explained in Spanish, I was like, pues en inglés no se pregunta cuántos años tienes, se pregunta qué tan viejo estás. He said, and he started to laugh, and he's like, really? And I was like, yes, that's, if you translate it directly, that's what you're asking. And so he started laughing and he remembered, and I think it also brought up a conversation about how language is connected to culture. Because he was like, I would never ask that to someone in Spanish, but that's what I was asking, and much less to a woman. And so then we talked about that, and I was like, well, it's different because it's a different culture, because language is connected to culture. So by that time he got back to his seat, he remembered that, and I could hear him explaining that to his other classmates. And so then I could see that he had understood it and he had remembered it.
Okay, that's great. Yes, that's the kind of things that happen when you try to explain in Spanish the meaning of the words. And students remember, right? That's the way they connect it, right? So it's really interesting the way it works. It does work. Okay, will you please? I hope I'm not boring you a lot. Okay, then activate, connect, and affirm. Activate, connect, and affirm. Activate means that you have to activate the previous knowledge of the students so that you can connect it to the knowledge that you are going to give them the day of your lesson. And then after you have done that, you're supposed to affirm the knowledge that they have already gotten. Was that kind of clear? Yes? So, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to make sure each lesson delivery is planned with activities that activate students' previous knowledge on the topic, again. Then, connect the previous with the new knowledge, and then affirm the newly acquired knowledge. And there's a tip. Praise your students for the good work. I don't mean give them lollipops or give them prize. No, I don't mean that. When I'm saying praise your students for the good work, I mean say the word, okay? Say something that the students feel that, where they can feel that they did a good job, that they really learned, okay? So when students can tell you, teacher, teacher, because they get so enthusiastic, right? And they say, teacher, teacher, I really understood doesn't. I really understood the questions in simple present. I can make a question in simple present. And you ask them, okay, tell me a question in simple present. And they make a real mess, okay? They do, I mean, they do. But you say, oh, yes, you know how to use das at the beginning of a question in simple present. You know how to put it at the front, okay? And, well, you're somehow recognizing the learning of your student, and they feel so good. And that way, somehow, you are motivating your students again. They feel nice, they feel fine, they feel safe, and they try more, they try harder all the time. So it's interesting again, the way it works, okay? I show you this because this is one of the things that they show us how to do. You know, we all work with mind maps. You all know how to work with mind maps, but they showed us a different way of working with mind maps. These mind maps are very interesting, and I fell in love with them. So I'm going to share it with you if you want me to. Okay, so it begins very easily. Pay attention. This is interesting. You begin with a single mind map. Your student works with a single mind map. Will you please change it? It's a single mind map. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry about that. It's a single mind map. The student begins making a mind map about whatever he remembers of a subject. Let's say, for example, simple present, okay? I'm delivering right now third semester, so I'm working with simple present. And you ask them, please tell me whatever, put in the center, place in the center of your page, simple present. And then you ask them, okay, anything that you can remember. So they start writing stuff like personal pronouns. Maybe they remember the S in third person singular. Maybe they remember third person singular. Maybe. Maybe they remember some verbs. Maybe. You ask them not to cheat, not to help each other at the beginning. Nothing. They can say nothing at all among them. After 5, 10 minutes, you tell them, okay, now get into pairs. Get in pairs. And you're going to help each other with your mind maps. Help each other. Give among you as much information as you can. Okay? Share this information as much as you can. And then you have to have this big paper, rotafolio, and some markers, color markers. They have to bring it, not you, of course. And then, as soon as they have finished sharing, you're going to tell them, okay, now, paste your rotafolios on the board, on the wall, on the floor. If you have tables, it's better. But if you don't, make them go to the floor. Doesn't matter. And get in groups of 5. And then share all the information you have and do a huge mind map on the floor. Don't repeat information, okay, about simple present. And then they will have a huge mind map. And then you will ask them to take out their books, okay? With their books, in the page that you know there's information about simple present, you will ask them to open their books to that page. After they have finished with their mind map, their huge mind map, you will ask them to look for the information of simple present. You don't have to say a word, teachers, not a word. Now, they will look for the information, and they will have to complete the mind map of simple present with the information from the book. They will have to understand it, try to get more information, and finish that mind map. After they have done that, you will check the mind map. When you see the mind map, you will find out what is missing, what they didn't understand. And then you can ask them to sit down, and you can go to the board. At the board, you will explain whatever is missing. After you have explained whatever is missing, they can go back to their mind map and really finish the mind map. And then you can ask them to go back to their notebooks and finish their individual mind map. And they will get a very, very good idea of what is simple present. After that, You can ask them to make affirmative, negative, and questions, and they will do it for sure, with no problem. Okay? So that's the way it works, and it really does. Will you please? Sorry, I haven't, no. Okay, no, please go back. Okay, this is the Dutch chart. This, I've been using it for vocabulary. I think I'm taking too long. Yes, I'm taking too long. I'll go fast. Okay, this is the Dutch chart. The Dutch chart is for determine, observe, talk, and summarize. I use it for vocabulary. This is very easy. You give them a bunch of words on the board, as many as you want. All this comes in the book, okay? In the book I told you. You give them the words on the board. You ask them to write them on their notebook. They will only write the words that they know, which meaning they know, on the Dutch chart in the letter that matches, okay? So if it is car, it goes in the C, right? And only if they know the meaning, okay? And then they will share with a partner to try to find out the meaning of the other words. If they find out the meaning, they will write the words on the chart. And then after that, they will get in groups again to try to find out the meaning of the words. As soon as they know all the meanings, they can write them on the chart, all the words, and they will have to connect them between them, all the words, not all of them, but the words that make sense with each other. So for example, if you have car and driveway, they can connect car with driveway, with the line, with the color line, okay? And traffic jam, for example, so car, driveway, traffic jam, right? And it works because they can relate the words and they know the meanings. So that's for vocabulary. Another one, please. The trifold, it's very easy. That's what I like, what I think, things I learned, and summary of events and ideas. What I like, what I think is what students know before you deliver your lesson. So they will write everything they think they know. And then the things I learned, it's when you deliver the lesson or when they look up in their books. And then the summary of events or ideas is what they got from the class, the newly acquired information, or the ideas they got, the new things they think they learned, okay? They're their ideas, okay? Individual ideas. The next one, please. Okay, this is what I wanted to tell you about the mind maps. This is a great student, you know. I took the pictures of the best notebooks, of course. Of course, I was not going to take the pictures of the horrible notebooks. So I took the pictures of the best notebooks. And, well, this is the individual mind map. This is the end of the individual mind map. This is how it finally ended, the mind map, okay? The final work. This is the way I did it. Individual mind map. We had this ITPSI, which is individual. Do you remember that? Teacher, pair work, student, small groups, and then individual work again. Okay? You really studied. Okay. Do you need to copy it? Can I? Yes, you need to copy? Okay, I'll give you a moment. Yes, that's for grouping students. Those letters on the top is the way to group students, the sequence for grouping students. Okay. Yes, of course. Could you repeat the meaning, please? Individual, and then teacher.
I think it stands for team.
Team. No. Teacher. Teacher. Pairs. Small groups. And individual. Did you get it? Want me to repeat it? Okay. If you want me to go to your schools and give you a workshop and make you work with this, please let CONALEP know to pay me my expenses, and I will gladly do it. For sure, I'll go. I love traveling, you know. It's one of my favorite things in life. As a matter of fact, the mind map I did yesterday, one of the things I wrote was traveling. So,
I think all linguistics actually love traveling. I don't know why.
yeah, well, I really love traveling. It's one of the best things in life. Yes. You know, English really changed your life. It's a life-changing thing, you know. It's really, really great. Because once you know a new culture, once you know about something different, you want to live with it. You want to try it. Can I change it now? Yes? Okay. Okay, this is the big mind map. These are my students posing so I could take the picture. And this is the big mind map. As you can see, they're writing everyday activities, the personal pronouns with the he, she, it, an S, go to school, every morning, stuff like that. Okay. And there's the mini book. That was really nice because once they already knew how to make how to use simple present. Can I get rid of this? My hand is sweating and everybody listens, right? Yes? Okay.
It's for the camera.
It's for the camera.
It's for the camera.
It's for the camera. I need to use the macro. Oh. Okay, so the mini book is wonderful because once they already know how to use simple present, I told them, okay, now you're going to use it. And you're going to create a person, a superhero. No, it's okay. You can just in here. Okay, you're going to create someone, a superhero, a football player, someone from your family, a cartoon, whatever you want. It's up to you. And this one, for this person, for this character, you're going to tell me what he does or what she does. That's important because it's third person, right? And you have to tell me what he or she does every day, every week, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every Halloween. It's up to you. But you have to tell me. You have to write it down. And you're going to make 12 sentences. And then I show them how to make this mini book. You have to cut and fold a piece of paper. And then I told them, well, now you have the sentences. I checked the sentences so that they were correct. And then they wrote them in the mini book. And they made the drawing about their character. They named the character. And they made the drawing of the character. And inside the mini book, will you please change it? Can you change it, please? Sorry. Okay, inside the mini book, I think there's a picture of somewhere inside the mini book. There's a story of this character. And they just loved it. They were like kindergarten students loving the mini book. They were so excited about their characters. They all wanted me to take pictures of their mini book, okay? My cell phone is full of pictures of the mini book because they all wanted to show their mini books. Okay, and then I said, well, I'm missing something. I'm missing questions. They're not speaking yet. So I decided to make this game called Find Someone Who. And I wrote 10 sentences on the board. And I told them, you have to find someone who says yes to these questions. And the short answers are, yes, I do, no, I don't, yes, he does, no, he doesn't, and all the short answers, right? So I wrote 10 on the board, and I asked them to copy them on their notebooks, and then I told them, you have to write the name only of the person who says yes. If someone says yes, you have to change and go and find someone else who says yes to the second question. And then they all stand up and they start walking around. Of course, if you speak in Spanish, you will get homework, okay? And I walk around. so I can hear whatever they are saying, okay? And well, that was fantastic. They all were speaking in English, they were all laughing, they were all having fun. I was going crazy, of course, but it was really nice. It worked, and they were speaking, okay? That was really nice, okay. Okay, has it worked? This is the end. You're almost free. Okay, has it worked? Oh, yes, it has worked. Students are really learning. Students are very interested. It is different. So they are very interested. It's not the same as always. Something completely different. Activities are challenging. They have to think. They have to work. They have to do teamwork. They are under pressure. I'm always with the clock in my hand. Are you finished? Are you ready? You're taking too long. Come on, hurry up. So they are doing their work. I am not doing the work. They are doing it. So they are challenged all the time. Okay? Are they doing homework? Yes, they are. They don't have a lot of homework. It's a little homework. But they do homework because it's not a huge amount of homework. It's a little homework. So they are doing homework. They are cooperative. Okay? Most of the time I allow them to make their teams as they wish. Most of the time. Sometimes I have to move the teams because the teams are not working. They're just having fun. So what I do is, nah, you're not working. Move. You go there, you go there, you go there, and you have to work. That's it. Okay, students are not skipping classes because they like the class. You know, all of us, we have that problem. They skip classes. Well, they're not. And that's amazing. I can't believe it. My classes are full. I don't believe it, okay? That's new for me. And then they're beginning to speak in English. And that's something I can't believe either, okay? Because they're really beginning to speak in English. They challenge me. They come to me and say, teacher, how do you say, how do you say? Teacher, how do you say, what's the meaning of? Teacher, how do you say? And they start challenging me and asking me how to say things in English, and they repeat it to me, and they try all the time to speak in English. So that's really great. So they are trying to speak in English. They're interested in learning, and that's really cool. I like it. I'm enjoying it. And then, what hasn't worked? At first, they got very nervous at the beginning because when I told them, write whatever you remember about simple present, they got. Teacher, I don't remember anything. Teacher, yes, I'm coming, 2 seconds, please, this is the end, okay? Teacher, I don't remember. Teacher, I don't know. Teacher, can you tell me, okay? So they got kind of nervous, but now they got used to it. They're not nervous anymore. Then they work very slowly at first. Now they're working faster. The next one, they didn't do homework at first. At first they were like, the teacher is a huge ship. Now they know that I am not a ship, a boat, or whatever. Now they're working, they're doing homeworks. And it was difficult to me. It took me some effort to get used to the new method. It was challenging, okay? I didn't really know how to use this. So when I started, I was like, oh my God, no? What do I do? What's next? What comes next? But then I got used to it, and it came very fluently. At first I was shocked, but then it began coming out, and it was very easy. So, the next one. That's it, teachers. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Teacher Gina, for your participation and sharing your experience about New Mexico. Thank you very much. We're really grateful.
Thank you. I think I didn't talk what I was supposed to talk about. But
Hello, teachers. How are you today? Hi. Okay. Now it's my turn to share what I want to share with you. And before I was doing this, what I'm going to show you right now, I was really concerned because I was working with kindergarten school at the beginning. Then I was working with primary school. I also had the opportunity to work with students from high school and university school. So one day I was thinking myself, how can I motivate my students? You know, the thing that most of the teachers think about it. So I was really concerned. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to only work with my book, my teacher's book, my student's book. I also wanted to apply some other strategies in teaching English. So I was really concerned. Yesterday we were talking about, also with teacher Emmanuel, about responsibility. We were talking about lack of motivation. We were talking about how important it is to contextualize our classes. Yes, but there are a lot of factors that are involved in motivation. So we need to be aware of that. So that's why I thought of it. So, motivation. What is motivation? Assuming what Dornay says, Scheidegger and Freeman explained in 1999, motivation is a complex process for teachers and represents new goals nowadays. New goals nowadays. I should repeat it because this is really important. It's not only the responsibility to be in front of your teachers. That's not it. We have to think, as I told you yesterday, out of the box. What can we do to motivate our students? And it also starts with ourselves, right? So, Peñalosa 2013 says one of the central elements when we plan teaching strategies through technologies of information, the TICs, is the interactivity. In this sense, I thought of a blog. The blogs are a convenient tool. They allow students to learn in a funny way and practice different skills in English. Okay, interactivity. Tools is not the same as the teacher. It's just a tool, blogs. We have a lot of platforms. We were talking yesterday about Duolingo, which is another tool, but it doesn't replace the teacher. It's just a tool. So I was thinking of a tool, creating a new tool that will be really helpful for students. Can you change it? Next. Why to create a blog? Does anybody has an opinion why to create a blog, teachers? Can you?
Well, I think it is a really helpful tool because you can interact with your students, you can upload information and you can answer questions. They have sometimes difficult to express in the classroom because they are shy. So in that way, it's a more anonymous way to address to you and you can really help some of them.
Thank you, teacher Maria Eloina. Does anybody else has another opinion?
Well, we are talking about reinforcement. In this way, it is a good strategy and a tool at the same time to make our students work in the way that they like to do it. Then there are many blogs already made and we can create one according to our specific needs. And it is a good way, it is a good tool, and we should do that now that the technology is going up and we have many devices. A simple mobile can be used to work with.
You already mentioned the advantages from the blog, teacher. Thank you very much.
Sure, yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so the purpose was to create a blog. But it was not just to create a blog. I mean, I need to know my students' interests first. I need to apply a test first to know my students' interests, yes, and to know if they are involved with technology a lot, and we know it for sure. But I also need to know about their interests. So what are 10 of the best platforms to create a blog? I started searching. I found out is that blog.com, Blogetary, Google Sites, WordPress, Jux, LiveJournal, Posterous Spaces, Weebly, Tumblr, ADC. But these ones are 10 of the best. So I choose first Blogger, which was kind of good for me, but then I changed my mind because of I don't know, it was not really useful for me. So I tried to do it better. So I chose to do it at WordPress.com. Okay. But what are the characteristics of this platform, teachers? WordPress is a very, very friendly platform. It is easy to use and edit, and you can even re-edit, which doesn't happen with other platforms. You only publish and you cannot re-edit. Then we have fancy topics. Moreover, the information, well, what I told you already, can be edited again. And you also get an URL of your new blog, as an example. We have there an example. What are some of the advantages to have a blog like this? WordPress could be without any programming ability, even though you have to know a little bit about a specific language like HTML or hypertext processor, yes. At the beginning it was only English, the language was only English, which for us is not a disadvantage because we are English teachers. But then you can start creating your new blog, at another languages. Another advantage is that students' comments have to be proved before they appear on your blog. So they come to your email address, you read them, you accept them first, and then they are going to appear on the blog. Another advantage is that you, as some of the other teachers mentioned before, that nowadays with these tools, we can have them in every device. It could be cell phones, tablets, iPads, whatever. You can take your own iPad and you're going to have the blog there. So that's a facility as well. Okay, this is my blog. I would like to go there. Can you go to the link, Lisa, please? To improve my students' motivation, as I was telling you at the beginning. I was not grading any competency with this, but at the same time, I was really concerned about motivation. So what I measured was motivation. Which way you're going to ask me, which way you measure motivation, because it's really difficult. It's not like, okay, I'm going to measure motivation and I'm going to create a blog and I'm going to see if my students' motivation improved. No. I had to adapt a test from Desi and Ryan, yeah, the pioneers for motivation. They also did it with another language, so I have to adopt it. I have to translate the document, the test, to another language and then I apply my blog, what I did, my creation. I have comments there. I would like you to be more specific and to have more time to explain all about the blog, but we're running out of time, so I won't be able to do it. But if you are interested, I can give you the link for the blog, and I can also give you my cell phone if you want to create a blog at WordPress. I know how to do it. and we can have this group of conversation at WhatsApp or at Facebook. The blog has another forum of discussion at Facebook also. This is the way we were having the feedback with the students, because I applied at a high school. So in order to have, to solve my students' doubts, I had to have that forum or receive their emails, their comments at my email in order to know their comments or doubts about the blog. Is there any question? Okay, so this blog has like 22 activities. From 1 to 16, there are planned activities with a different topic. Every activity is about lexic or grammar. To levels A1, A2, or B1 from Marco Común Europeo de Referencia para las Lenguas. It was created for the students for high school. From the activity 17 to activity 22nd, the activities for the students are about the use of synonyms, hyponyms, opposites, whatever. I wanted my students also be involved with vocabulary. I was concerned about them to know more about vocabulary. But the blog is not only about grammar or this kind of words. It also has to do with videos, because I think most of the students learn through videos as well, because they can get all the cultural baggage from other countries. We already talked about the disadvantages of this blog, but another point is that they cannot answer there. They have to answer in their notebooks by themselves. But we were talking about the language, which is not difficult for us. This is a link to create a blog at WordPress. Yes, if you are interested, you may find it there. And also, I'm going to give you the name. Well, I did already give you the name of my blog. You go to the internet. I think most of you know how to do this. You go to the internet, you look for WordPress.com. You choose to create a website. They are going to ask you to have an email account. And then they are going to try to purchase you. But I didn't. I mean, I just chose it free. Choose a template or topic, and I choose it free, as I told you. And then you're welcome to WordPress. You're going to get your first entrance there. It's going to say Hola Mundo or something like it. And you're going to start editing your own blog. You're going to have several tools there that you can use to add some intermediate things, to add files, and so on, in order to create your own blog, teachers. So that's really nice for you to have these kind of tools at a school, right? You can choose whatever topics you are interested on, and that are really, that have to do with your students' interests. So I would like to have more extra time to open the complete blog and to navigate through it and to show you the activities, but we're not going to have that time. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to share with you this. These are some of the references where I was taking into account in order to create the blog and to create all the work. Peñalosa, Dornay, Singer, Blanco, Brophy, and ADC. Okay, so you may write them down if you want to check them out. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much. And now we're going to welcome teacher. We're going to welcome right now teacher Miguel Ángel Morales Mata, can you come to the front, please?
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Fine? Are you happy? Are you hungry? Yes, yes, teacher. Yes, hungry. Very hungry. Before, I want to do an activity. So I think everybody's like sleeping or maybe you're tired. So can we everybody stand up? Just 1 minute. Okay, it's a game. It's very easy. Listen, when I say number one, when I say one, I want you to clap once. Are you ready? Let's practice. One. Oh my God. One. Excellent. When I say number two, I want you to say hi. Very loud. Okay, let's see. Number two. Hi. Two. Hi. Two, two. Ah, excellent. Good job. So, I'm going to do it a little bit faster. Are you ready? Hey, loud. Yes, because you're hungry. If if you shout very loud, you're gonna have two breakfasts today. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. One, 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 two, one, one, two, one. Okay, let's do it again. This was a cáliz, okay? The real one. One, two. Be careful. One, two, one, two, two, one, one, two, three. Ah, okay, teacher, thank you. Sit down. This is a good activity just to wake up and say good morning to everybody. Are you ready? Okay, my name is Miguel Ángel Morales Mata. I come from where I'm from, the best city in the world, that is Torreón, Coahuila. Okay. Nah, that's not true. I love my city. I got the opportunity to study in ASU, like some other teachers that are here. And I love my teachers, my ex-teachers. My favorite class was technology in the classroom. I think technology is just a tool that teachers can take hand on to motivate students. I am an industrial engineer. I'm not an English teacher. So I am an industrial engineer. I got 2 masters. I got a master in education, and I got a master in manufacturing. And I'm studying my PhD. So I like studying. I love studying. So let's start. Are you ready? If you want, you can take pictures about some apps, some software and web page that I'm going to show you. And I want to talk, and I want to thank Elaine Kendrick, that is one of my ex-teachers in a university, and I love this class. Teaching and Learning ESL with Technology. Okay. Do you use technology, teachers? Every day? Yeah, do you got your cell phone right now? Can you show me your cell phone? Excellent. I mean, almost everybody got a cell phone. So, you know, students use cell phones every day. They use cell phones even in our classes. You're talking and they are sending WhatsApps, or they are uploading some information in Facebook. They are taking pictures at you when you're teaching, and they are recording the class. I teach English in Conalep, but I teach at university. I am a statistics teacher, so they record my class. Teacher, can I record your class? Yes, but not me, the class, okay? And I am writing, and they are recording everything. Because I think it's a good tool for them, because they can check it out in their house, and they can practice again. And if they have some question, they can use it again, and play it again, and play it again, till they understand. So can we go to the next one, please? This is a picture about us in the school. Yes or not? Evaluation time, and you need 3 students to help you. Hey, come with me, can you help me? Yes, and there. So this is a picture about what happened in schools. But I found this tool that is Google Drive, and I love it. There are many other options. We have OneDrive, Dropbox, but I think Google Drive is great because can you help me? Thank you. I have my assistant. Where is Miguel? Come here. No, I mean, it's not it's my coworker, Miguel. He's an English teacher too. Miguel, say hello. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you click several times, please? Thank you. Okay. What advantages can you have when you're using Google Drive? You can upload information and share with students. This is one of the things that I like to do every day. I have 1 hour class, so it's very short. And if you want the students to practice, you can use Duolingo or some other web pages. But I like Google Drive because I can send them some information to read. I mean, you have to contextualize all these things because I send information about what they want to learn, not about what the book says. I mean, they want to learn, for example, how to blog or how to, well, not blog, how to, when you have a person in Facebook and you don't want to see them, and they say, hey, you can block them, and they don't know how to do that. So yeah, I just send some information in English. They want to know that, but in English, I mean, they have to study a little bit, and they have to use the dictionary maybe. They have to use technology to learn English. So send information. Number 3, please. Edit. And number 4, that is collaborate. Students can work in the same document at the same time. While they are in their houses, maybe, or in the school, but they can collaborate in the same document. So while they are typing, they are showing the name of who is typing. So we use it in ASU every day. Because, you know, teachers, imagine 186 teachers in a hotel, party every day. No, we study every day, right? So pool party every day. But we were working in our rooms. I say, hey, I am in the room number blah, blah, blah. I am thinking about it. I want to send it to you. And then in 5 minutes, the next teacher sends some information extra. And we are collaborating real time. So there is an excuse that a student says, teacher, no tengo tiempo, estoy en mi casa todo el día, you don't have internet. Okay, yes, but you got your cell phone. And I check my Facebook and you are online. Yeah? So you know, you can use Google Drive and collaborate with your coworkers or classmates. And the most important is that you can access to your files everywhere. I got a friend in Torreon. She's a teacher, an electronic teacher at university, and her laptop, I mean, I don't know what happened, if it is a virus or something, and she lost all her information. I mean, a lot of years of working hard, and she lost everything. So I said, hey, why didn't you use Google Drive? And while you are working, Google Drive is updating your information to the web. So you never lost it again. You will never lose your information, So you can access to your files everywhere, yeah? You don't have to carry your laptop. I saw teachers like kindergarten students with. Yeah? So I don't like it. I just have my iPad. I'm going to show you some apps. I have my iPad, and that's all I use in classes. No laptops, just my iPad, and my cell phone, and my markers, and books, because I have to carry some books. But the books are in my laptop. Yeah, I'm going to show you some of these tools. This is the ASU account they gave us in the university. I have some files. Don't cry, teachers. You remember. And you can access till today. I think it is working right now. Thank you. These are some examples of how I use Google Drive. Students, it was common that students record some videos, but they gave it to me in a CD. And you know, my car is like, I don't know if it is correct, it's like empty with CDs and books and works and documents. And if I go to your car right now, it's going to be the same as mine. A lot of information in your car. But today, they can send the video using Google Drive. And you can check it on your house. You can check if they work. Because when they gave it to you in a CD, you cannot check it at the moment or where they gave it to you. So you have to check it in your house, and you have a lot of time, and you can play it again and again and again. And you can be, well, the evaluation can be objective, and you can use your rubrics correctly, you know? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Next one. There are some videos. They are some students. They are recording a video about cooking. They are cooking a recipe, and you have a structure to evaluate that activity. Leaflets about eating disorders, healthy eating. And the next application is Edmodo. Edmodo is it's like a Facebook, but educative Facebook. You know, I don't like to use Facebook with students. It's my personal point of view, because I think there are personal information that I don't want to share with them. You know, so I don't use it frequently. I have some ex-students maybe, but not students that are in my classes right now. So I use Edmodo. And Edmodo is similar to Facebook. Can you go to the next one? This is an example of my Edmodo. Students can send information. You can check the day. For example, Mayela sent me a presentation in PowerPoint. So you can open the file and you can check it on your house. So I like it. I really like Edmodo. You can organize your groups. I have, for example, 501, Comunicación Productiva en Inglés. I have Comunicación Activa en Inglés, and blah, blah, blah. So you can organize your students. They just need an email address, and they can log in. Okay? Thank you. And this is a picture about students. Students love technology, and they watch videos every day. They use YouTube every day. So, I use YouTube. YouTube, the most important tool is that they can watch video tutorials. And I think that teachers in this classroom, you have used YouTube. Yes or not? Do you search for some tutorials? YouTube? Se me descompuso la compu, ¿cómo le hago? Yeah? And you check, se me descompuso la compu, ¿cómo le hago? Search. And there is someone in the world with information about it. And you can check the tutorial. Yeah? So I got my channel in YouTube, and I upload some information for the students and tutorial for the students. I am not working as an English teacher too much, or I don't have a lot of classes of English, but a university helped me because I teach process simulation using ProModel, that is a software, and I record everything that I do in my screen. I record everything, and I upload to YouTube. And they can do it at their house, and they can practice again and practice again. And I think it works because students at my evaluation, they have to do a process simulation, and they do it very, very well. And say, hey, teacher, your tutorial was great. I understand everything. And I think it works. Okay? So don't be afraid about recording your voice, but about recording you. Because at the beginning, I was very, very afraid. Because it's easy, me equivoco, what happened? And everybody's going to send me some comments like, hey, está horrible tu video, I don't like it. But it's part of the process. So you have to I suggest you to use YouTube. This is, well, what is happening with that boy? They don't like to read. Sleeping. Yeah. You have a lot of information. I mean, is this happening right now in my classes? Maybe yes. Please, students, open your books on page 32. And they're like, right? Please, page 32 to page 46, all the book for tomorrow. So, can you click once? I found this tool, this Curriculate, and I'm going to show you some pictures. Curriculate you can access just with your email address again, so you need one. And some advantages is that you can read. Students read. Actually, they are reading. every minute they are reading because they are checking Facebook, they are reading. But they are not reading what we want them to read. That is a problem. Yeah? So with curricula, they can read what we want them to read. They learn new vocabulary. I'm going to show you how. I don't know if you have internet, but I'm going to show you how in some pictures. And they comprehend because curricula helps us teachers to ask questions. You can ask simple questions or deep questions. And they have to read, and they read again, and they read again. And then they answer the question, and they made a mistake and say, oh my God, I have to read it again. And they read it again, and then they try again, and they try, and then try. So I like it a lot. Can you go to the next one? You can access to your readings anywhere. There are no excuses for the students. They can use their cell phones, their iPads, their tablets or computers. So there are no excuses for them. This is my library. I upload some text, simple text, because this is for the first semester. So, for example, one of the topics, why when teenagers go to bed and get up? That is everyday problem for teachers and students. Yes or not? Yes. Or everybody's like, oh my God, 5 a.m., excellent, let's go work, let's go to work. I don't think so. I have problems with that. Number 2, why teenagers can't be without their mobile. What happens if you forget your mobile or your cell phone in your house and you go to the school? How do you feel, teachers?
I go back to my house.
Anxious? Angry? I feel like something's going to happen that day. I feel sad, and I have everything in my cell phone and in my iPad. So if I forget them, it's like the world is coming down that day, and I will die. Okay, so there are some topics. Can you go to the next one, Mike, please? Yep. This is an example of the text. Why when teenagers go to bed and why can they get up in the morning? And they can read, and they can learn new vocabulary. For example, what is a mammal? And they can read the description or the concept. You can add annotations, extra links for students if they want to learn something else about the topic. They can click there some pictures, etc., etc. And you can go to the next one. It's a question. Thank you. This is a simple question, very easy. How many hours do teenagers, blah, 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 wake up later than adults? And you have the information there. They have to read and answer the questions. At the end, curricula send them the feedback. I mean, you have 3 or 5 questions correct or blah, blah, blah. And also, the most important is that this information is in your account with the student's name, the record, how many time they spent in the reading, how many answers they did correct. And I think it helps us because you can give them some extra points or you can use it for your evaluation. And it works for me. So I'm showing I am showing some apps that I use actually with my students. Can you do the next one? You can organize everything by groups. So this is an example. And this is a report that they gave us. Abel Martinez, blah, 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 and thank you. Questions 100%, time on task, complete, etc., etc. Yep. And the next one, I am very fast. I'm sorry, I'm going very fast. Padlet. There are some shy students in the class. There is always one boy that he refuses to talk. Yes or not? Yeah. I think even in this classroom, there is a teacher that refuses to talk. And he's like, just watching. I am learning. Yes, I'm just watching. I don't want to participate, don't talk to me. Forever alone teacher. Yeah? So this is common in my class. So I use Padlet. Can you go to the next one? Padlet is a web page where students can type and discuss. There is an option that you can show their names or you can hide their names. So it's up to the teacher if you want to know who participate and who don't participate. So motivate students to participate, type, and then you can use the information to discuss. And you are the discussion leader. The teacher is the guide in these situations. And you can save the student's opinion and you can use it later for the next class. It is common that in one class you cannot complete all the task or the activity, so you can keep the Padlet or the wall and then you can use it for the next classes. Can you go to the next one, Mike? Uh, so technology gives the students a voice. Yes or not? Yes? Okay. This is an example. Some of the walls that I have created for the students. Let's go to the next one for example, please. Uh, ecology, I'm talking about ecology, and some students start typing using their cell phones or computers, and they start typing. And you can open the wall all the day. So they can access in that day anytime, and then you can close it, okay? And then no more comments for today. And you can use it. There's another example, the next one. This for teachers. Tech and obstacle, administrative support, and teachers right there. And you can use it for a discussion. Is it a cool tool for you? Yes? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm sorry. Some pictures about how I use it in school. Teachers. Is that you, teacher? Yes? At the end of the month, evaluation unit number 1, yeah, in your house, Saturday and Sunday. No Santos games for the teacher? Okay, thank you. Can you go? Socrative. This app is awesome for evaluation. I love it. Also, I use it for a project in the schools with Planea. You know what is Planea? Yeah? Okay, I am a math teacher also. So I get all the evaluations, the exams of Planea, and I get them in this application. It was a hard work because I have to type every question and the answers of all the Planea, all the exam. So it was a hard work, but at the end, it was amazing. And the school's score get up. So can you go to the next one? Socrative. It works for self-evaluation. Students can have a feedback at the end. Instantly feedback. Randomized question. There is a problem with that. It is common when you give the students a test, they are copying. You can be you can be a strict teacher, but they found a way to copy. Yes? I used to do this. I walk through the lines. I was like, this is the same answer that this one. So you're copying. No, teacher. Are you sure? No, teacher, because he wrote, and how do you know what he wrote? No, teacher. So they copy, but when you randomize questions, they don't have the opportunity to copy because pictures show different questions for each student. So they don't have options. Real-time report. Can you go to the next one? And you can have the control of the time. The exam is for 1 hour, so you start at that time. At 1 hour later, it's going to be closed. Okay? And you can export the report to Excel, and you can use it for your evaluation. Again. And if you lost your computer or something happens, you can access to the report using the web. And finally, print your test. You say, hey, I don't have internet in my school. There are no computers, no cell phones. The students, they don't have the access to internet connection or connectivity. So you can print the exam and give them the exam. So you don't have to type everything in Word and print them. Yeah? This is an example. An extra, 2 games. We have the space race. It's a game for questions. They have time to answer questions. And the exit ticket. If you want to get a feedback from the students to you about what they think about the class, some suggestions, you can use the exit ticket. And they click on exit ticket and they give you some comments about the class. So I use it very often with students. Yeah.
So this summative has exams designed, or you have to design the exam?
No, you have to design the exams. You get your questions, or I don't know what kind of exam you want to create, and you have to type, yeah. And you, yes?
And then you ask the students to get online,
Yeah?
and then they answer the exams online.
Yes.
And then you receive them,
Yes?
answer.
Yes.
And you grade them online?
No. the software does it for you. Yeah. In real time, because while they are answering in your screen, in your computer, it is coming because, hey, the exam is at 5 p.m. Teacher, but we're in the morning. Okay, we are studying in the morning, so why at 5 p.m.? Because in my house, I am going to open the exam at 5. So you have to search, you have to look for an internet connection in your house at 5, and you're going to start the exam. At 6, the exam is going to be closed. So you can use it for homework also. You open the exam at a specific time, and they can access to the exam at that time. Yeah, that's right.
How does that work?
Cheat about what? Okay, yeah, they can cheat if someone else answered the exam and they type the name. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. But I think for homework it's a good option. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you Google search and you write Socrative. Yes. And they have tutorials on using YouTube. You have to use YouTube to check some video tutorials. Yep.
Is it possible to write a questions and then to use it for other groups? Like I designed this exam and there is like a question bank and then I grab certain questions to design another exam or so on?
Yes. You can create an
Thank you.
you can create some questions, and then the students you gave them it's not a link, it's a code. So when the students want to answer an exam, they type the code, and automatically they appear in your group, and they have the specific exam that you chosen for them. You have chosen for them.
Okay. We have to add or create an account for the students?
No, they do it, and they don't need email. They just type the code, and then in the next picture, in the next screen, it shows type your name, and they write their name, their complete name, and they say Dawn, and actually they are in your group. They don't need an account. So, teacher, no tengo correo. I'm sorry, you don't need email for this, the web page. I'm sorry, there was one person before.
Okay, thank you very much. My point of view, and I think some of you, cheating is not a real problem. If the students copy, they're learning. So if somebody else is helping them at home, don't worry. At last they are learning. It is a process. Okay, we have to be more strict when we want to grade them. You know, there are 3 methods of grading them, or rather 2. The summary and the other that we make daily annotations and so on, assessment too. So there are, we don't have to worry too much about that, I think.
We have to see the positive of this software or web page. If the student is not learning because he's cheating, maybe his or her mom is learning. I mean, so be positive. Someone in the house is learning. Yeah, so be positive.
I was going to ask you, why did you send them to computer lab?
To answer.
No, they just open a web page, write Socrative, student login, the code, their name, and that's all.
Yeah, but you can use it in a computer lab, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cell phones, computers, tablets.
That's
Yeah. Any gadget or electronic device. Anyone else? No? Okay. So let's go to the next one. These are some exams that I have created for the students. For example, we have the dual system in the school. So students are not in the school, they are in some factories or company working. So I send them the evaluation. Say, hey, 5 p.m., see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. evaluation time. Okay, teacher, yes. And at 5 p.m., I connect my cell phone or my computer to the web. I log in Socrative as a teacher, and I say, oh, fulanito, yeah, yes, 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 yes. All the students are in the group. So they are right now answering the exam. And they got a mistake in the question number 3, in the question number 4, in the question 6, in the question 7. And I can feedback in real time. Yeah? So it works for me. There are some options that you can use as a teacher. Randomized questions, high final score if you don't want them to know what happened in their exam, so you can get the information, just the teacher. Let's go to the next one. These are what you were asking before. Student login, the room name, that is my room name. You can create different rooms for students. They enter their name, or they write their name, and then there is an example of a question. Or a novel is a descriptive text, yes or no, true or false. And they just click and then submit, and it's in your system. Yeah? And instantly feedback. You can, there is an option that you can hide the instantly feedback, or you can show it for students if you want it. And this is my report. This is an example. So Miguel Ángel Morales, and for example, I answered the question number 1 real time, and it shows cling, students, Pedrito answered the number 3 incorrect. And yeah, you can send them some feedback. Yep. And this is a complete report of a group. All the students, and all questions, and also I like this, the percentage of each student, correct answers. So you can use it for your evaluation, if it is exam. So it's my evaluation. You got a 79% correct, you have 100%, and you can use it. Yeah? Yes, in the next picture. I'm sorry, go to the last one. There you have the report. Get reports, view chart, this is the chart, and I don't know what is the next one. Yes, you can send it to your email if you want it. And also, you can send it using Excel. You can open it in Excel, and you can manipulate all the grades. And you can print the exam. If you don't have internet and you want to print an exam, you choose the questions, and you print them. Yeah? And the last one, or it's not the last one, I'm sorry. But I love playing with the students. I have a special kit for playing. I have in my car, I have a big bag of games. Some balloons, I have a baseball bat, but it's not of wood, okay? Because no, teacher, I love you. I hear you. No. So I have some tools, but this is awesome, Kahoot. So let's go to the next one. It's a game. Yes, it is a game. Do you think students can learn English or could learn English using games in class? And they love it. So you can challenge students because it is a game, but they are challenged because they have to be the number 1. So they try harder to be the number 1. So they are learning while they are playing. Okay. Students today. This is the web page, it's Kahoot. There are 2 web pages, Kahoot for students and Kahoot for teachers. Kahoot for teachers, you design the game. You design the questions, you design everything. And the students' access is in the students' web page. And I'm going to show you later. This is the students' web page. They open Kahoot.it, and then they have to enter a code. The code is created by the teacher. Okay? So let's go to the next one. For example, this is the teacher's screen. Okay? And it says, Mary plays blah, 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 the guitar, blah, blah, blah. And then you can get some answers, possible answers. The students, if they are using their cell phone, they are just, they can just see 3 different shapes, and they have to choose the correct one. Okay? It's like Cámara de Senadores, you know, when they vote. Yeah? They're like, yes, no, color red, blue one. So it's similar to that. Can you go to the next one? And last one. Do you want to play Kahoot right now? Yeah. Do you want to play? Do you have internet connection? Time. I'm sorry, we don't have time, so let's finish. Teacher Kit. I love Teacher Kit. I'm going to show you. Miguel, do you have my iPad? Yes. Technology class in ASU, Arizona State University. Yeah, we have a technology inventory of, I think, like 60 or 70 different web pages, applications, softwares that we can use. Yes, you can send me. My email is ing Miguel Morales at hotmail.com. Yeah, when we finish the, yeah, I can send you my email. Okay, this is the last. Teacher Kit. I love this application, my favorite, because I hate carrying my, well, all my information, my suitcase with all papers, so I use Teacher Kit. This is one of my groups. So you call the row. You call the row. You say, for example, Aileen Canales, and then, here, teacher. Ding, okay, give me 1 minute. Yeah, and then you say, Aileen Canales, tiling, or maybe she's not here, or she's late, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, at the end, you can have the report, the complete report. For example, this is my class report. And you can say, oh, evaluation. And there you have your evaluation. Okay, so I love it. And I send this to the administrator in the school, or maybe the coordinator, and he said, oh my God, that's excellent. And some other teachers are asking about it. And I gave them this app. I bought this app. So I bought it and I share with teachers. If you get a group of 10 teachers, I think it's very, very cheap for you if you bought it. I remember it was like 400 pesos, something like that. But it worth it. It worth it. Yeah. So that's all, teachers. Thank you for your time. Because
Thank you, teacher Miguel Angel, for your apportations. Thank you very much. Can now teacher Rosa Guadalupe come to the front, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here because it's a new opportunity to me. And as you can see, I am so younger, but I am very happy because I'm a teacher and I am teaching, in the school where I studied. Okay, and so today I am going to share my experience with the teacher online program with Cometsus. Okay, so my name is Rosa Guadalupe Martinez, and I am from El Oro, Estado de Mexico. It's a magical town, it's very beautiful, but there are many situations that don't allow to be a teacher in all the opportunities that you want to have, but it's a great school. Who am I? Okay, my name is Rosa Guadalupe, and I was a student of the CONALEP where I am working now. I got the degree of PTB Automotive, and that was my career, but I don't work in something like that. And my best opportunity is the English. I really love studying English, and that was the thing that have opened me so many doors. And I took a course with Silly UIM, but this is the Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Mexico, but before that I didn't have any formal education in English. I have studied by myself, and since I was 6 or 7 years old. And my first teachers were crayons and containers. I saw, oh, that said milk. This is milk. And the crayons say red. The color is red. And with that way, I was learning English. I have never been in United States, never. But this is my biggest dream. Someday I want to go to United States or any other country that has another language. And I have never traveled abroad. This is other of my biggest dreams. I want to know Asia, I don't know. I applied for the exchange in 2015, but I didn't get the expected score. I had to do the online course. My school said me, there's an opportunity to go to United States. Do you want to apply? Yes, of course. It sounds so nice. Please, the next one. What did I do in the online course? At first, I met Diana Lippincott. And she was my teacher, and she was my mentor. She helped us so much, and she gave us so much confidence. Um, he guided us with every problem that we had, and we were in contact, and that was very, very nice. The next one, please. When I had to do the online course, I had to work with 3 platforms, with Botsy, with English Central, with Blackboard, and I really liked Botsy. I enjoyed Botsy because that platform gave me many tools, or it was a challenge to me, a new challenge. I worked with Botsy, and it was an interactive platform which helped me to study grammar and make me think faster. Sometimes I didn't enjoy it that. There were many texts that were longer, and I didn't have so much time to do it, to read it, or it was a longer text, but there was only a question, and it was so tiring. Next one, please. And with English Central, I really enjoyed it too because it was so interactive, so funny. I really enjoyed this platform. There were advertisements, movie shorts, funny videos. I was laughing and learning at the same time. The more time I spent online, the more I enjoyed. It was funny because there were many extracts that was about movies. And for example, I'm a legend. For example, I don't know, advertisements about many products or daily products, for example, Colgate, and what else? I don't remember many at this time. Keeping in touch. With the ASU of Arizona, we were talking on Facebook. We shared pictures, photos, tips, information, and it was a good way to keep in touch. For that reason, I had to enter with my online profile, and the teacher Diana was sharing so much information. And for example, sometimes the platform didn't work, and we have to report or pray for help with her. And as you can see, or more or less, there were many comments of us asking for help. I really like to be a teacher, but actually there are many problems when you want to be a teacher, because sometimes the students don't know anything about English, or they say, teacher, I don't like English, I won't learn it so easily. When I came to CONALEP, since 2014, I have almost 3 years working in CONALEP. I was a student. I had only 1 year from my graduation. And there were many problems because someone said, she's just a girl. But my biggest dream was think about, I want to be the best teacher I could be. I want to teach my students as I wanted to be learning, as I wanted to learn. It was my bigger motivation. At first, I started teaching with words in Spanish, and it was so good because students understood me. But I had an evaluation and a teacher told me, you have to speak so much or all the class in English. But I realized that many of my students had so many problems. And I tried to to teach them with my best effort. And for that reason, I try to help them using the knowledge that I gained from this course online. And the most important contest about English in my CONALEP is the spelling bee. The spelling bee is spelling in English. It's very easy. And I like to prepare my students in this contest. For that reason, I use English Central in the free version. There is a lesson that is the most common problems in pronunciation with the Mexican students. Okay, and we did that session, and today I have a student that is in this contest. I really expect so much about him because he's so prepared. I have the trust that he will do a good job. When I had the premium version of English Central, it means the last year, I had a session with my students to practice pronunciation. It helped them so much. A few days ago, we have selected the 3 representatives for this year. All of them are students of mine. As I say, today is the essential stage for them. The first one is a student of 5th semester. He was speaking the word right. And the second one is a student, it's a girl of 3rd semester. Both are excellent, and I really like their jobs. He is so creative. The girl is very tidy, very punctual. If I say, do this job, she does it. The next one, please. And this is the student that is going to represent the CONALEP Loro today on the estatal stage. I am very satisfied when my students enjoy the class and show their abilities. There are groups which ask mine why their teachers don't do activities like mine, and I realize that I am doing a good job. I really like allow students to express their selves. The teenagers want to be listened. My important, or the thing that I consider as the most important, is the expression. Because usually the teachers say, this word means something, and that word means other thing. And I want to hear them. I want to let think, let express, and things like that. And I am a teacher because I love English. I want to say that I had many teachers that had helped me so much. For example, the teacher Victor Mario, he's a teacher of mechanic, and I am really thankful with him because he taught me many things that I didn't know it. And my teacher of English, Victor Manuel Pedraza, he taught me many things that I really didn't know. When I was a girl, I made a promise that someday I will sing, and I will understand the songs that my father used to listen. And that was the biggest motivation that I have to learn and to teach English. And I think that when a student said, "Teacher, you really teach me something that I can use in the real life," it is a good motivation for the teachers. When people have the opportunity to work in something that they really like, actually they are not working. I really enjoy my work, the things that I do, and I'm not working. I am spending time with students that I can consider as my friends. I have more students participating than before. They like to express their ideas because they want to be listened. Committee's teacher online program has given to me a huge motivation. When I started teaching English, I was very shy. I really like to talk and speak, but I didn't have confidence on myself. It was so difficult because I was afraid. If I made a mistake, what should I do? If I say not something that is not correct, what should I do? And I was so afraid. I didn't like it and talk so much in English because I didn't feel secure. I didn't feel confident. But now I do it. I like to do it. And I enjoy my work, and I am pretty sure that my students enjoy my work too. And this is a picture of a group of girls, and they were doing an explanation about fashion trends, and it was a funny session. And they had to wear a partner like hippies, like emos, like fashion trends and ideologies. And you could see the students walking on the school, and the other guys saw them and said, "What are you doing?" "We are doing something like this." "Oh, that's amazing. And we would like to do it too." The next one, please. Those are their explanations. For example, in the first one, you can see an explanation about the Rastafari ideology, using past simple, used to, clothing, ideas, and I really noticed that they enjoyed that. In the second one, and that girl is wearing a hippie, I forgot the word. Sorry? Okay, she's wearing a hippie costume, something like that. Okay, and they were speaking so much or more than before. And it was a good motivation for them, doing funny things and have the opportunity to express themselves. Next one. Oh, I forgot to share some pictures. For example, in other activity, the students had to create a map, and I said, you have to create a perfect city. For example, if I said, my cat has died, what shall I do? "Oh, teacher, you have to go to the cemetery. You need to buy something." And, and I said, you have to solve many problems. What shall I do? In your city, in the map that you have done. And it was so funny because they really enjoyed, and they give ideas. They speak so more fluently, and I really like to do activities when they are not on the chairs. They have the opportunity to move away, to move in the classroom, to enjoy the class. And this is a phrase that I want to use to close my participation. Teaching is one profession that creates all other professions. We are not preparing students for a specific job. We are preparing students for jobs that don't exist now. That's really because world is changing every day. World is changing with I don't know, with many things that before didn't exist. We don't know if a student is gonna be web designer or agent of cybernetic police? I don't know. So we have to create many, many professions, okay? And I don't know if a game is the best way to teach. It's a good idea, but we are working with teenagers, not with boys. Sometimes it's a good resource, but not always or not very often. I really like to be a serious teacher. And it was nice, the experience of being in a course online to share information with other partners, with other workmates. And to me, it was a good experience. And I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I don't have anything more to say.
Thank you, Teacher Rosa, for your participation. Now is with us Teacher Maria Eloína. Please.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? Morning, no? Right, it's 25. Okay, everybody stand up, please. You must be tired by now. Yes? Okay, let's stretch a little bit. You are going to do what I'm doing. I'm not using the microphone because I need my both hands. Okay. So welcome to this meeting. It is very nice to be here, sharing my experiences with you. My name is María Eloína Carmona Vázquez. I come from Coatzacoalcos, Veracruz, Plantel Don Juan Osorio López. It's a very long way from my town to here, but well, here I am. This presentation is entitled Sharing Experiences because, well, as you know, I am one of the persons who went to Arizona State University. It was kind of an odyssey because I was sure I was not going to make it. I started my process of registration and then the platform closed. I say, I'm not going. The second part was the exam. Apart from working for CONALEP, I work for Cambridge ESOL. I am an examiner for this institution. And then they sent us an email where said that we had to be in Veracruz, 5 hours from my town, on the Saturday. And it was in June. That day I had, I don't remember, 70 tests to give the candidates of Cambridge ESOL. So I complained and I didn't go. The next week, they wrote me again and said, complete your registration process. I did it. Unfortunately, I went there. It was very satisfactory because the teacher, I don't remember her name, the first one who spoke, the age sometimes is an inconvenient, no? So you can't apply for many scholarships because they are for teachers under 30. And as you can see, I'm not 30 exactly. Okay. Okay. This is Arizona State University, one of the biggest universities in the United States. It has approximately 60,000 students, and it is enormous. It's kind of a city. It has all the facilities you can imagine, and it's very, how can I say, well, very effective in teaching you what you need to learn. This is one of the computing labs where we learn to use these beautiful technology tools in order to improve our teaching. The lab has 40 computers, more or less, online. So you just click and you enter, and you can use everything. Apart from the classes, we had a talk every week. In this talk, we were told about different issues. For example, the first one I remember, they taught us how to make origami, a paradise bird. Yes, in order to improve both our listening, our handcraft or else, and to teach our students to develop different things of learning. This is the lobby of the hotel. We sometimes burn the midnight oil because we had a lot of work to do. At the very beginning, some of my fellow teachers thought that they were going to be, or they were going to have a shopping trip, but no, the work was really, really hard. We had tons of homework, and sometimes at 1 a.m., when the hotel turned off the lights, we went to our rooms to continue working. Next, please. Here there is a group of teachers working. You can recognize, some of you can recognize, working in the homework. But not also was homework, you know. Too much work makes you a fool. So we were taken to some trips or entertainment like this one. We were taken to the baseball game in one of the most important fields in Arizona. There was also a trip to the beautiful Grand Canyon, which is incredible and impressive. There was also a trip to Sedona Ranch, the place where the rocks are red. It was incredible. We had a lunch there. It's kind of a park. And we had a tour in jeeps that they say they are the new horses in the country because everything is very rocky. And the roads are not paved. So we were jumping up and down in these jeeps, but it was very beautiful. We had also the chance to visit some museums, like this one, which is dedicated to the people who originally lived in Arizona. Can you change, please? Thank you. And what made this? This trip gave me some powerful tools to make my students more participative and better. And this is another picture of my students in Coatzacoalcos. This is the last one, I think. Okay, can we continue with the other? Fine, sorry. There was confusion with my name. It was written Marilena, so I wasn't aware that I was going to be one of the presenters. So the one that you, fine. This is a very short summary of my experiences in Arizona State University during the months of July and August 1915. I'm very grateful because I can learn some new techniques and to new tools to use in my classroom. Can you Move it, please. Fine. Okay. I learned, as teacher Miguel Angel explained, we were taught to use these different tools that enhance our teaching a lot. For example, Google Drive, that teacher Miguel Angel explained. Also Prezi, Khan Academy, which is a very good one, especially in the area of mathematics. Besides culture, you can give your students a tour to the British Museum, and they can learn many things. After that, you can give them a feedback about what they learn. I also enjoy a lot GoConk. It is a available tool to teach vocabulary, new vocabulary, because in one, it's a kind of a set of cards. In one card, you write the word, and in the back part, you write the definition. You can shuffle the cards, and then you can project one, and the students can give the definition, or they can read the definition, and then can see the word. You can use the pay version, which is much better, but both of them work very well. As students are very visual, it's very important for them to give this kind of vocabulary. I also like the spreader very much because you can improve the speed of reading of your students. You can upload your text, and you can set up the speed which the words disappear. So you can choose, for example, 60 seconds, and every 60 seconds or every 30 seconds, a line disappears. Yes? So it helps the students to improve their speed and their comprehension, because at the end, you can set up a questionnaire or questions or true false or whatever exercise in order to see how much they understood. It's very good. And also Duolingo, which was explained yesterday by another teacher. My students especially like Duolingo because nowadays the students are very visual, so they can learn, they can play, they can get points, etc., because it's a kind of a game. And they can carry this application in their mobile phones and use it wherever they go. I mainly use Prezi. I am going to include 2 examples because the students' short thumb is grammar. So sometimes for them it's very difficult to understand or to catch up the concepts you are trying to teach them. As one of the teachers said very correctly, it's important they learn in English. They use a correct structure because sometimes they use the words but incorrectly. So if you show them, they can learn. I think that I have to. Well, after I give my presentation, my Prezi presentation, I enhance the experience by giving the students some exercises I upload in Google Drive, and I can check at home easily, as the teacher said. I said, I had already mentioned Khan Academy, especially for some cultural issues, which is something our students are a little bit lack of, because sometimes we don't give the importance the culture has in developing a language. I am very convinced that language is learned in the culture of the language you are teaching or you are studying. TED lessons. Have you ever tried TED lessons? TED lessons is very good too because you can upload a video or you can choose among the ones that already exist in this tool, and then you can make a questionnaire for your students. They enter and they answer the questions, and you can also see the progress they are having. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any example of it. I would have liked it, but you can enter in YouTube, TED lessons, and you can check it by yourselves. And well, when you use this kind of tools, the students are more aware of what they are learning, because as I said before, they tend to be very visual, very active. They have the technology on the tips of their fingers, different from us that sometimes find this a little difficult to do. I think I'm very fortunate because I love technology, and I have a son that keeps me updated with all the new trends that are coming out. Then, well, since I have given the students this class of presentations, I've noticed they are more interested in what they are doing, differently than when you use only the chalk and board. Right, well, there is this problem that we don't have enough places in my school to practice or to use these tools. But the advantage is that most of these tools are available to use in your cell phones. So that's the way I work with them. Okay, fine. Well, for me, it's a plus that I try to give to my students in order to make their learning more effective. And another thing I've always tried to do is they become independent students. Because if they learn how to be independent, it is going to be easier and funnier for them to learn. I've always tried to do this. One thing I would like to commend you is that I'm not, I don't have a degree in languages. I started studying English by myself and then in a school. And well, I consider myself self-didact. I am a holder of a Certificate of Advanced English, TKT, the 3 first modules, BOLATS, and I'm a speaking examiner for Cambridge ISL 2. Okay, I don't know if we can access to the presses. I want to share with you the presentations of Prezi I made. Let's see if it is possible for you to see. These are about 2 topics I have to deal with this semester with my fifth graders. I checked them and they were there. Okay. This is one about relative clauses, which my students find a little bit difficult to understand because they find that they don't know how to process to join 2 sentences together, no? So I made this. You just. Okay, let's go back, please. No, this is Prezi because you just have to click on the arrows. Okay. This arrow, please. Oops. Okay. Then in the bottom part there are two arrows to advance them. Okay. I can give some examples, and after that we can solve an exercise to check if they understand. Next, please. All right? To set up the differences. Mhm. And the omission when it is necessary. And that's the last one. Can you return to? Okay? So these are some of the presentations I show to my students because it's easier for me to take them to the auditorium and get a computer analyzer gun in order to show them. So I sometimes try to take them to the computing labs, but it's a little difficult because there are about 1,000 students and the lab rooms are not enough for all them to enter. You know, we all have large groups, 45 or 42 or 50 or 55 students. Yes? So that's what you try to do your best. For example, when I try to them to solve listening exercises, I have got a very small loudspeaker, and with a pen drive, I have them listen to the audios of the books. No, it's a good way for them to practice their listening because sometimes it's difficult for us to find the resources in our campuses. No, okay. Well, have you got any question? No questions? Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, teacher. Yes. Yes. Yes, for me it is very important, no? Especially in these days that technology is available at a very low cost. So, yes, teacher.
Another important thing is, yes, it's very good to work with technology, but also the student need to learn in groups because what I have been told is that when they go and try to find a job and they start working, the bosses or they complain that the students work individually. They don't know how to work in groups, and that's not good for them. They need to learn to solve problems within groups and make decisions quickly. So I think it's a combination. Yeah? You need to help. You need to tell them, okay, you can work with technology, practice with technology because it's good. Do what you like and what you want there. But also in the classroom, we need to ask them to interact all the time. They need to be interacting, and trying to solve problems the way the same way.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, teacher. What I meant when I said independent students was they learn or they find the resources they need by themselves, but also that in the classroom they work collaboratively. Yes? It is different, no? Independent users than students that know how to work in group in the classroom. Yeah, they are two different issues. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Okay. Yes, teacher.
What's the meaning of the ritual that we did at the very beginning? What's the meaning of the ritual?
The meaning of what?
Of the ritual.
Ritual, which one? No, it's only to activate people, to activate. It has nothing to do, no? Because as you notice, you are going to increasing the volume of your voice, and your movements, etc. It's only to awake you, or to awake people.
I thought it was from Native Americans from Arizona or something.
No, no, it's something I learned in a workshop, and it has always worked well because people immediately reacts no to the movement, to the sound, etc.
Share something with you. You were talking about lineage.
Uh-huh.
When I went there, I am 64 years old. And then I thought, what am I going to do there?
And then I said, well, okay, I'm going to go. Then when I arrived at the airport, well, at El Paso, the man who went to pick us up, and he said, the group that is coming to NMSU, and everybody said, I, and then I said, I, and he was like that. He was like, and I was, and he was, yes, I'm here. I am also part of this group.
Yes.
He was like, what?
Yes, but well,
I was with a white hair.
okay.
I dyed my hair white, and it was like a silver. So, yeah, I look like an old woman too.
Yes, yes, it happens to us. No, but I had an amazing time in Arizona with my classmates. They were incredible.
And I
and-
felt very overwhelmed because it was like, oh, they took care of me, and
Yes.
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Yes, let me tell you something. Arizona is also a very hot place. Uh-huh. And most of my mates were very, how can I say, tired because we had to walk a lot to go from the hotel where we were staying to the university, no? And I say, how can you stand it? Well, I live in a very hot place, so for me, it's normal. No way. But especially the people who came from the center of the Mexican Republic, they found it very, very annoying, no? Okay, but well, we can do it. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you very much, teacher.
This moment, teacher Jonathan Israel Oscoy Rico, you are welcome. It's yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm Jonathan. I'm from Conalep, Mexico, Canada. That is which is located on the north side of Mexico City. So I don't want you to tell my experience because some of my colleagues already said that. I earned a scholarship to go to NMSU. So I want you to share. No, I want me to share some pedagogical theory that I learned there. So, but first of all, I want you to do a little experiment. So, don't pay attention right now to the words in the parentheses. Okay? I explain this at the end. So, could you read this paragraph? Does anybody want to read the paragraph out loud? Please, okay. So everybody pay attention, please.
In grasping the thought that the single individual consciousness is in itself absolute sense, consciousness has returned to itself. For in happy consciousness, the in itself is beyond of itself, but its movement has resulted in positing the completely developed single individual, or the single individual that is an actual consciousness, as the negative of itself, as the objective extreme. In other words, it has successfully struggled to divest itself of its being for self, and it has turned it into a mere being. Hegel, Phenomenology of Spirit.
Okay, thank you, Juan. Now I want to ask you, what percentage of understanding of this paragraph did you grasp? Honestly. Do you want me to read again? Okay. The paragraph says, in grasping the thought that the single individual consciousness is in itself absolute essence, consciousness has returned to itself. For the unhappy consciousness, the in itself is beyond of itself, but its movement has resulted in positing the completely developed single individual, or the single individual that is an actual consciousness, as the negative of itself, as the objective extreme. In other words, that's the explanation. it has successfully struggled to divest itself of its being for self, and it has turned into a mere being. What percentage did you understand?
Maybe 10%. Maybe 10%.
Okay, what do you think does Hegel want you to know?
That I know nothing.
Okay, probably. Thank you. Who else?
Me. Maybe like 5%. I think it's about consciousness. It's trying to explain what consciousness is.
Yes, of course. So that is like 50%.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, good. So this is an extract of the Phenomenology of Spirit. It's one of the most complex books in philosophy, in history of philosophy. It's written by Friedrich Hegel. So, what feelings do you have when you face this kind of text? What? Frustration. Why? Yes, of course. What other feeling? That you need to read more? Angry? Why? Yes, of course. I understand English. What I can't understand this. Okay, so
I wonder if I know how to read because it's a little bit confusing. Thank you.
Okay, teacher here wants to.
Okay, favor, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I have read Hegel, and he needs a translator.
Yes.
He deals always with the being, the real being of every person. Maybe that's the translation for essence, but I repeat, it's very hard for me to get in his thought.
Yes, of course.
Very troublesome for me.
Yes, sure. I read this book. Okay. Yes.
I think that in English is more difficult.
Yeah.
Some of my last team from the school says that they want to learn German for understand better to Hegel. Some of them did this and they didn't understand it. So Hegel, it's so difficult in English, in Spanish, in German, in
Yeah.
French, in every language.
Every language. Yes, of course. So, why did I choose this example? First of all, because I'm not an English teacher by profession. I'm a philosopher. I studied philosophy, but I ended up teaching English classes. So, this is a good example of what I want you to know. Can we move to the next one, please? Okay, theoretical components that enhance my pedagogical practice. The next one. So I want to talk about two components. The first one is the comprehensible input, and the second, which I will explain later, is the states of mind. So, what is a comprehensible input? A comprehensible input is a meaningful connection between an object and its meaning that provides a student the first step to the learning process, which didn't occur when we were reading the last paragraph. It wasn't a comprehensible input because it was too hard to grasp, okay? So, meaningful experience and connections are essential because students cannot learn new materials unless they are able to understand the input and connect it to their background knowledge. That is why we can't understand, because we have not previous knowledge about Hegel, for instance, or previous knowledge about philosophy. So we can connect, and at the end we can produce the knowledge we wanted to. So, okay, that's the reference. I forgot at the end of the slides to put all the reference, but the book is from Socorro Herrera, who's the chief of the BDI program at Kansas State University. Can we move to the next one, please? So, I want to explain the cognitive load theory. That theory supports the comprehensible input perspective. So, what happens in our brain when we understand or we try to learn something? Well, we can see it as a process. It's a process of 4 stages, okay? So, the way our brain works with information is like this. Okay, we have information. We have like a very wide range of stimulus, but they interact at first with sensory memory, which is a memory that it's very immediate. It doesn't stand for a long time, but the key process is that if we don't have something meaningful, something connected with our previous experience, we forgot that information. Okay, I just read the quote from Hegel, but because I didn't understand anything, I will forget that information because it's not meaningful. The next step is the working memory, okay? So this is the challenge because most of our students, well, I remember that there was a kind of discussion about how long the attention in the sensory memory of a student lasts. So somebody said like 5 seconds, others 2 seconds. So that is a challenge. Because if we don't engage in 2 seconds, their attention, we will lose them. We will lose them, okay? So if we are able to connect their sensory memory, they can process that information into a working memory. That's when we process information, when we connect previous with current knowledge, when we make predictions, when we make relations between concepts. So, okay, working memory, if I have the correct material, that working memory goes to the long-term memory, which is the memory that I will use the rest of my life. My cognitive schemes, all of that stuff. So it's like a cycle. If I work with meaningful information, that information will transform into a long-term memory information. And because we are active beings, our brain works with the new and what we have in our memory. So if we, this is the challenging part theoretically or pedagogically speaking, we face in our classrooms. Because honestly, most of the times I'm not really sure I'm giving the correct stimulus or the correct information. So that's why, as we have seen before, we have to use the BDI. The biography-driven instruction begins here because we take into account the students' assets, what they get or what they get from their homes. Okay? So next, please. So basic components of the comprehensible input. There are 4. The first is hands-on activities. Okay, this is like a definition or a conception. There are no like a list of activities that I can deliver or that I can design. So I'm completely free to design whatever I want. So when teacher provides material or an arrangement in which students can activate their social and cognitive skills, Okay, that's a hands-on activity. So this is an example. This is an example. It's not from English because right now I'm not giving English classes. I'm giving Desarrollo Ciudadano and Interpretación de Normas de Convivencia Social by some tricky of the destiny. But the thing is that we can use this not only in English classes, we can use it in any other subject. So, for example, this picture is about a hands-on activity I did with my students. I asked them to draw a picture of themselves, writing down their physical, cognitive, and emotional characteristics, because I wanted them to get a sense of what a community is, which is part of the curriculum of Desarrollo Ciudadano. So I think that's a better way of giving them a comprehensible input instead of go directly to definitions of what is a citizen, for example. So it's like a useful way of giving a comprehensible input. So please, the next one. Okay, cooperative learning is the instructional use of small groups through which students work together to maximize their own and each other's learning. So cooperative learning is a strategy which we use a lot. So let's go to the next one. Guarded vocabulary. It involves efforts to reduce the linguistic load in order to increase comprehensibility of instruction. So we saw in the paragraph at the beginning, we saw words like absolute essence, itself, in itself, by itself. So guarded vocabulary is an effort to make those words, those complex words, easier to the students. So this is an example. Again, is from Desarrollo Ciudadano. We reviewed the concept of justice. So they wrote, okay, the quality of the picture is not good, but they wrote keywords to understand what justice is, and they relate it to CONALEP. So that's an important thing, because justice is not meaningful if you don't relate it with your life. So I did this strategy. Okay, the next one. Finally, the visuals. Visuals is very wide. We can use a lot of things. The use of photos, media, computers, drawings, charts to illustrate concepts and the process in the classroom. This is an example of another topic. These are the rules of how to use the accent in Spanish. And I made an infography. It's a program whose name is Pick to Chart. It's like it's like any internet resource. You have to do your account, and you create an infography, which is like a very graphic way or a tool to deliver to the students so they can review basic concepts. Okay? The next one. Okay, so states of mind. These are important because a mental condition in which a state of mind is a mental condition in which the qualities of a state are relatively constant, even though the state itself may be dynamic. Students have feelings of failure and stamford perceptions on their part or on their part of their teachers or peers, of incompetence or inability to fully participate due to language or cultural background. This is what you just felt before. You felt incompetent. You felt your inability to get a new knowledge, new information. So why is it important? Why is it important to to take into account the states of mind, because we produce this all the time in the classrooms. I remember that I did the same with the first time I taught philosophy in CONALEP. So it was very rough for my students, because I gave them one dial of Plato, and it was what are you talking about? I don't even read the newspaper, and you want me to read Plato? And it was yes, I'm making a mistake, because because states of mind can either allow the learning process or block it. So we must be careful with states of mind. The next one, please. Okay, so this is a strategy to end the learning process. So if we focus on the words on parentheses, we have the three phases of the learning process: activation, connection, and affirmation. It's the same as in Spanish, inicio, desarrollo y cierre. Okay, so the affirmation phase, we have to plan an activity. I chose this, whose name is 321. It consists of three things I learned, 2 things I'm going to use, and 1 question I still have. So can you do this, please? Can you write down on a piece of paper 3 things you learned, 2 things you will use, and 1 question you still have? Please, in 2 minutes? Is that enough? Okay, I think we don't have enough time. Do it at home. So yeah, for homework, yeah. So basically, that's my presentation. Thank you very much. I don't know. There is time for questions, or? No? Okay. Okay, don't worry.
Good afternoon, teachers. My name is Fernando Morales. I'm from Mexico City, from Campus Aragon. And this is the last presentation in our meeting. So this is a real challenge for me, because I don't want to repeat myself in my exposition. So I will try to be concrete and objective. As I say all the time, simple is best. So I won't show you lots of pictures and visuals, because we have clear our comprehension about our every exposition we have been listening during these 2 days. So can you please help me with the cover of my presentation? I'm going to summarize the course I took at NMSU, and I'm going to add some comments about my experience at my classroom and with my students. I have been teaching English for 18 years. I started very young, and it's good and great for me to have the chance to do what I like to do. So I will share with you all those aspects I consider important in my experience. So can we please go to the next page? Okay, this is a summary. I wrote Biography-Driven Instruction. It's a program based on wide-range educational research. So it considers when we come from a country that has contact with many cultures and many ethnic and multicultural tradition, we have to consider many things when we are teaching a foreign language, especially because we try to imitate the accent and the idioms native English speaker use, especially people from the United States, and we confuse when we can't understand a real idiom in its real meaning. So sometimes we have to translate first and then I don't remember, can you please help me? How do I say interpretar in English? Because I forget, sorry. Interpret? Okay, thanks. Well, we have to interpret that kind of expressions. For example, when we say in Spanish, this is pan comido. My students think that pan comido means eaten bread. And I have to explain them that the expression, the correct expression for that one in our culture is piece of cake. And when you explain to them the meaning of piece of cake, they really get your intention in your English communication to be effective and to have real communication. When I start my class with a new group, in my first class, I always present Spanish because I like my students to really understand the parts of a speech. So I have to explain them what is a noun, a pronoun, a verb, an adjective, an article, an adverb, a preposition, conjunction, and I missed the last one, an interjection. So that is basic, and that's a problem because we as English educators think all the time that we have to forget about the background in our native language, and we don't consider that we have to make the grammatical part of Spanish clear in order to our students can really understand a topic. For example, if I'm going to explain frequency adverbs and my students don't know what an adverb is, I am not getting the real intention of my explanation. And that's very useful and very effective in my class. So I suggest you try to explain first the parts of the speech in Spanish, and then you can go on without any problem with your objectives. The second part of my summary says, considers culture and linguistic as a central support, but includes diversity as the complement of its structure, body, entity, form. In this line, I'm using synonyms in order to be understood as clear as I can, because sometimes you don't need a large explanation in order to be understood. You just have to use a synonym and they will get what you have in mind to get the goal or get your target. The third line says, introduces English language as a living being by adding aesthetic to create and exalt beauty. It has some correspondence with the exposition of Jonathan, because when we study a language, we have to consider the philosophy part. In my training as an English teacher at UNAM, I had a subject named linguistics, and my teacher made us read the dialogue of Plato's, the Cratylus of Plato's, and it was a really good experience to understand the philosophy part, who describes all the mental process we suffer when we are getting language, even our native language. So this is very important to go further in any language comprehension. the last line says, impress feeling, emotion, and consideration. I think that part, it's very clear because we have been listening to many experiences. So I think I don't have anything to add. I'm just going to finish my reading by checking our states of mind when we educators teach learners. Can we please change the next page? Okay. In this page, I wrote a quote, a Confucius quote, that says, learning without reflection is a waste. Reflection without learning is dangerous. This is a very good quote to analyze what we really do in our everyday work. We have to understand that every time we're giving an explanation to our students, we have to reflect on what we are saying. I wrote all the important aspects we study in our course, and if you have any doubt or question about the lines I wrote, please let me know in order to give you my opinion, because I can't explain to you anything. We all are teachers, so I don't have anything to explain to you. You understand things very clear. And finally, please can we check the last page? These images I put on my presentation are there because I want you to consider all those parts we have to join when we are teaching our students a new objective or a part of our program content. We have to consider that we have to follow a real sequence in order to understand, for example, the use of tenses in a verb. If I'm going to teach simple present, and I'm going to continue teaching adjectives, articles, or prepositions, and in the last part of my program, I'm going to use continuous or progressive present, I am not following a real sequence in order to be understood when I'm trying to be clear, when I want my students to understand how to structure present tenses in English. Don't forget, I know you know that in present we have 4 categories: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. If we follow that sequence, it will be easier for us to get our goal and to make things simple. I don't have anything else to say. I'm kind of nervous, and I think I'm not clear in my explanations. Please let me know. So, can I go back to my seat? Well, thank you. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you.
People for became ourselves like transformed, changed. We ourselves change our life. It's very difficult try to change the life of the student if don't change our own lives. Do you remember that this? This day, we start this great challenge, innovation, because this is the way we have to go to become part of the society economy, which is based in innovation, technology, concepts that are aligned with English class. Do you agree with me? Yes? Okay. In this second meeting, we get experiences, new techniques, methods, and tools for teaching, learning, and application of English language on solving international situations. It's true? Yes? Okay. This challenge involves first, each of us to break our own paradigms and current habits. Yes, it's true? Is agree with me? Okay. Because in order to transform our lives, it's necessary to break us and rebuild us in a better and more advanced version of ourselves with skills and competences of higher added value. Yes? Okay. After minutes ago, you signed that this in the minutes. Yes? Okay. It is our responsibility to be a living example of transformation our students. We will show that here in the CONALEP begins the economy and society of knowledge. Yes? Okay. These two purposes impact directly on the development of English language skills, which enable our students to be ready for a learning process in life. This part is more important. It's the end of this second meeting. It's the closing. I ask you please reflection about this event, reflection. For CONALEP, an academic secretary, is very difficult to organize this event. It's very important in the academic life in our institution. This event is a number 12. We organize nine events about math in Spanish comprehension, and two events for English. This is 11 meeting. It's very important because in the history of CONALEP, never, how do you say, in the history of our institution, never organized this event. It's very important for academic secretary, and for you. We have the better study program, but don't have this class of event. It's very difficult obtain the result that the enterprise required to CONALEP. Yes? Disagree with me? Okay. That's okay? Okay. We have a simple method to deliver your evidence. Bueno, primero de los participantes. Okay, I call the person and raise your hands, and the Carla or Melissa deliver your paper. Yes. Rosa Guadalupe Martínez de Jesús. Llévaselo, por favor. Luz del Carmen Granado Salas. Raise your hand, por favor. Luis Fernando Mora Cerón. Laura Ramírez Alfaro. Julia Vázquez García. María Eloína Carmona Vázquez. Juan Manuel Ríos Rojas. María Dolores Cruz Miranda. María Josefa Ortiz Mosqueda. Perdón, Cortés Mosqueda. Yes. Marina Hernández Vázquez. Miguel Ángel Morales Mata. Allá atrás. Miguel de la Cruz Reyes. Allá atrás también. Atrás. Teresa Esquivel Reyes. Rosalía Camal Camal. Rosa María de la Luz Galván Ramírez. Zulema Hernández. Citlali Sánchez. Jonathan Israel Oscoy Rico. Giovanni de Jesús Quesada. Georgina Elena Freida Silveira. Francisco Callejas Avilés. Evencia Maura Céspedes Reyes. Enedele Sumaya Raga. Eduardo Medrano Sosa. Débora N. Russell. Claudia Martínez Huerta. Orlando Amaya Rivera. Raúl Castillo Martínez. Adonai Ariel Gutiérrez. Antonio Arceo Mendoza. Ariana Victoria López. Blanca Alejandra Cisneros. José Mauricio López Cortés. José Javier Ruiz Jaimes. Adonai Uriel Gutiérrez. Citlali Sánchez. Orlando Amaya. Miguel Ángel Morales. Eloína Carmona. Luis Fernando Morales. Mauricio López. Jonathan Israel. Georgina Freida Silveira. Estela Gutiérrez. Aquí está el tuyo. ¿Cómo vamos? 1:07. Les puedo decir que salgan unos 10 minutos y que regresen. Bueno, diles en inglés.
Teachers, we need to finish the agreements, so can you please go out just a little bit, like for 10 minutes, and then go back? And if you have any questions about your documents, ask Lisa Carrillo, please. Yes, thank you.